Oh, please no.
Hey, Jennifer.
There you go.
All right, excellent. Tonight's Oregon Town Board meeting will come to order, and Jennifer, if you could call the roll.
Yep. Carl Walzer.
Here.
Lori Fitzgerald.
Here.
Steve Jernigan.
Here.
Tim LeBrun.
Here.
And Arlen Kai is an excused absence.
Okay, thank you. We have one set of minutes from the December meeting, and any issues with that? Any edits, comments, questions, errors? Lord? Okay, without objection, those minutes from December 9th are approved. Item 4, approval of financial report, loan update and payment vouchers. Jennifer, any comments? Steve and Lori, any issues?
I had one this afternoon. I was looking, not an issue, just a question. I'm gonna have to defer that till later till I find it.
Well, defer, is it significant enough to
No.
not?
No, it's not significant. It's just more an explanation of the meaning of something. That's all.
Okay. So then without objection, the financial report, loan update and payment vouchers are approved. Thank you. Any public comments? Well, everybody's here for park related things. Here we go. So item 6, a park report, and the first one is a summary of the last year's activities. Dave Frankson,
Sounds good.
all yours.
Can I
Thank
just
you. Yep, go
I've got Tim on the thing, and so do you want me to put your presentation on the screen?
I'd love
Dave? Okay, I'm just gonna then get Tim's beautiful face off then, so I apologize,
And I have a printed copy with me, so.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
I'm looking at you, and so we're just not gonna be looking at you anymore, so I apologize.
Yeah, no problem. Yep, I've got a printed packet with me.
Okay,
Before you start, Dave, Tim, did you have any objections to either agenda item?
No,
Sorry, I didn't look over your way.
There you go.
okay.
no, all good. Everything's good.
Yell up, since we don't see you, just yell if you have got something to say.
Yeah, that's.
Very good.
Okay,
Very
thank you.
good.
There you go. Thank you.
All right,
Dave, do you want the podium or
I don't know, whatever you want,
That's
wherever
fine.
you want me.
wherever you're comfortable? Right
Okay.
there is fine.
So I'm good here. I assume they can see me. I guess I don't know.
We can see your back,
The back of your head, probably.
All right.
Yeah.
Do you want
Yeah.
me somewhere else?
but I can hear you very clearly.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're good? Okay, sounds good. So anyway, what I wanted to do, since we've just passed the cusp of the end of 2025, is to give a parks update and also to pay attention to the Parks and Open Space 5-year plan that we put together during 2024 and was approved by the board in February of 2025. Basically what we did is for each individual park and other open spaces, including cemeteries, we identified over a period of time the particular items that we wanted to either add to the parks or improve in the parks. So if you want to go to the next screen, I'm just going to go over the park information. So Hillcrest Park, oh, that's Raven Oaks. Oh,
You wanna go, and maybe I got a little bit out of order. You want me to go to Hillcrest? I can go to
Sure.
Hillcrest.
all right. So Hillcrest Park, just you see there's a lot of items there, and for the most part, everything has been completed that's listed, except for the bottom item, which doesn't show up on the screen. There you go. Pretty much everything that we had in the 5-year plan was completed this past year. The main thing with Hillcrest Park was the main project was pulling up all of the railroad timbers all around the playground equipment and putting in new borders and adding new pea gravel and new sand and well, we also added 2 new trees to that particular park and finished a bench that related to the Little Free Library. Next park is Bicentennial that I have on my list here. So Bicentennial, we didn't have a lot with that particular park, but we did accomplish the things that we wanted, including 6 new composite benches were added in the park trail system. And we also had an Eagle Scout project, where erosion bars were installed on the paths to make them easier for people to walk on and to make sure erosion didn't cut rivulets into the paths, making it harder for people to walk on the trails. Raven Oaks Park, we did quite a big change there. We basically took off all of the horizontal surfaces of the playground equipment, so all the steps, the building blocks, the platforms. All of those were sent to all color powder coating, and they were sandblasted, powdered, and welded where necessary, and powder coated. And then we reinstalled all of those parts in the spring of 2025 on there. We installed the dog waste station. We put new borders around the playground equipment. We put playground safe mulch under the playground equipment. It didn't have anything under it previously. And as you can see, a number of other things. Again, for the most part, all of the things that we identified in our 5-year plan, we accomplished last year in 2025. We go to the town park. So been a number of things that we did on the town park, including putting in new benches, replacing some of the deteriorated benches that were there. We had quite a bit of tree cutting for safety purposes on the paths that go through the park that we had to accomplish, and multiple different occasions based on the dangers that they held. And so I think it might actually have been 3 different times we had to hire somebody to come in and take care of trees that were imminent danger of falling if somebody was walking on the path. The last item, which we hoped that had been completed at the town park, was the shelter, 18 by 24 foot shelter, which is an Eagle Scout project. Unfortunately, as you well know, we got a fairly significant snowfall in November, much earlier than usual, which put a kibosh to finishing the park shelter. So there are some items to be completed, primarily the roofing on the metal roofing on the park shelter. But if you stop by there, you can see that the basic structure is there, and we are expecting that will be finished in the spring of 2026. Last park is Kennedy Park that I'll talk about. We have brand new playground equipment there. That was a significant expenditure and something that was very significant in terms of just cost contracts, figuring out where the playground was going to go, what to do with the old equipment. It took up quite a bit of time for us to get that in place, but it was installed, and I certainly thank the board for their support in getting that particular new playground installed at Kennedy Park in 2025. As you can see, most of the items that were listed on the 5-year plan here were completed in 2025. Overall, in all of the parks, we put new mulch in everywhere that needed new mulching. We updated and put new activity signs in at the parks. We added sand to the sandboxes, pea gravel to the playgrounds that took pea gravel. The Parks Committee assembled a great number of benches. They're made out of composite material, so they should last for a long, long time. Unlike the wooden benches, many of which were deteriorating. And then those were installed at a variety of parks to either add benches or replace benches that were deteriorating in those parks. One of the other things I might mention is that, and again, I have no idea how many people subscribe to the Oregon Observer, but people do, and it is around. But I believe that we were The Parks Committee and their activities were featured, I believe,
At
three
least 2 times.
times on the front page of the Oregon Observer, so it's nice that some people are taking note of the fact that we've done some significant improvements and additions to the parks in 2025.
Mhm.
So then, since we have the Town of Oregon Parks and Open Space Plan here, and it's a 5-year plan, the question then becomes, what's next? If we've completed most of the items, obviously there's some items that are left, as you can see here at this particular park. What comes next? The Parks and Open Space Plan was a very formal legalese project requiring approval by Dane County Planning, requiring approval by the board and the Parks Committee, and subject to community open meeting. And so I contacted Bridget Van Bellingham, who's the senior planner at Dane County, to discuss that with her. And we agreed on 2 potential avenues to go forward. One is that the Parks Committee will draft a memo similar to what you have right in front of you, but with some narrative included in it that will be sent to Dane County and the town board to be an update on the progress that's happened in regard to the 5-year plan. Then in regard to any new items that are of any significance for any of the parks, if we feel that there are necessary significant improvements that are not currently listed on the POSP, then we will actually submit an amendment at that point in time to the POSP, which will go through the same approval process that the original POSP went through. So those are the 2 basic steps. One is to just send out and attach a memo to Dane County and the town board with a summary and a detail of what's been accomplished so far. Second item, if necessary, if we want to add significant items to the POSP for the future within the 5-year plan, then we would submit an addendum to it, which would require approval by Dane County and the town board. I have one last thing, but I thought I'll open it for any questions or any further detail, if anybody has anything they want me to explain further, or.
I have sort of a question. We started doing road work on a big year for work and a minor year for work, mostly maintenance. Would that make any, I didn't go through and sort out like what was big projects that still had to be done or not. But would that make any sense for parks too? Like here's a big
Well, I figured
construction year.
this was a big year.
No, that's what I'm saying. This was, I'm not saying this.
I mean, we could
Did you do more? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, and I certainly expect that 2026 is gonna be way less involved and, working maybe some more of the finer details and maybe planning for some significant future expenditures. For instance, Kennedy Park, the citizens would like to have some paths which would be quite long.
Right.
And would be a significant expense, and planning would have to go into it. Is it gonna be, just mowed? Is it gonna be pea gravel? Is it gonna be paved? Things like that.
Yeah.
But I certainly expect 2026 is gonna be much quieter than 2025.
Yeah, well.
And that's
yes,
okay.
Yeah, no, I think everybody on the committee would think that's okay. But and that it seems like the same kind of situation as with roads. I mean, looking at the list that was the items that were done versus the items that still are future considerations.
Yeah.
I don't know that the numbers work for that. I'm just throwing it out there as.
Have you had any further conversation with Kent for the town of Rutland as far as any commitments that they're to make?
Well, I did go to their town meeting and made a presentation, and then
But since then,
and Carl and I have had a discussion after that point in time just about what the best route for us to go forward with. And I kind of think it's a chair to chair kind of thing right now in terms of where they are. I know they said they needed to go through their budget process to determine whether they were gonna allocate some contribution for that, and I don't have any additional information.
Okay.
And I don't either at this point, but I also haven't contacted Kent. But I'll put that on my to-do
I
list.
mean, most of the board members appeared very favorable.
Mhm.
I think there was some, maybe one, well, I don't know, I'm not gonna say. I mean, but I think it seemed like a majority of the board, of that board appeared to be favorable to making some type of contribution.
Yeah.
So,
When Eugene was there with me, Jennifer was there. You at the. No, maybe it was just a three.
No, I did not go to.
Okay.
that one.
Yeah, it seemed like the board overall was very enthusiastic
Mhm.
about it, and I think Kent was holding his cards pretty close, so I don't
Yeah.
know what I don't know what he thought.
yeah,
And again, from my understanding, Rutland doesn't have any parks. Is that right?
that is correct.
Okay,
They were thinking about making a park in land adjacent to or including the new town hall. But my understanding is they have decided not to do that, and I'm not sure if that's related to improvements in Kennedy Park or not.
okay.
So I guess
So
the
I
last.
see,
Oh, go
I
ahead.
see Kent, a couple of times a month at the, fire commission and, planning meetings. And so I have not talked to him about it either. I might just put a bug in his ear and, just so he knows that it's still on the table for us and that we still have an expectation of getting some kind of, cooperative effort with them.
That would be great. I know at one point it seems to me that they had to go through the budget process, that they weren't willing to do anything in 2025, but they had to go through the budget process for 2026 in order to allocate any money if they chose to do so for a contribution
Sure.
to that park. I don't know where that process is. I would assume it might be done, but
It should be done, yeah, the budget
Yeah.
process.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but Tim, this is like more of a in my mind, this is more of a low key ask of them and not as saying, hey, we're expecting this. This is, if you're interested, we talked about this with you, are you interested in it? I'm coming from more of that direction.
Sure. Yeah, I won't put the pressure on him. I just want him to, just make sure that it's still in his mind and that it doesn't get lost. That's all.
Perfect.
It always gets a little challenging when a municipality is considering investment outside of their municipality. And so I can understand that can be a little more nuanced than people think it is.
Right. But we talked about things too that were like shared mowing
Yes.
and things like that. So it's not, it can be
There's different ways.
It can be very black and white, or it can be sort of a gray area, like that type of thing.
Sure. Yeah.
We
Very good.
put your name on a sign. How can you help us now?
Got it.
Any other questions for Dave or the
No,
Parks Committee members?
I just want to say it's unbelievable, the list of things and to the extent that they've been done this year. It is really something that your committee has put forth, unprecedented. I can definitely say unprecedented activity and refresh of every one of our parks. And I just really appreciate it as a resident of the town, because it is very visible, and we know there is a significant financial contribution to make it happen, and that pales in comparison to the effort that your committee put forth, planning for it, and then actually getting it done. And so I just really appreciate all the time and energy that's been put into 2025 in the parks.
Well, thank you.
100% agree. I mean, it's been great to watch throughout the year. And then to see the list of everything that was done is incredible.
He's a slave driver.
So
Well, I'm not denying that.
I mean, the last thing I want to say is I do want to thank each one of the members of the Parks Committee, Gloria Compton, Eugene Lewis, who is here, Diane Packett, who is here, and Jeff Nelson. I mean, I really couldn't imagine working with a better group of people that are willing to put their time and their activities, you know, on the line for getting this work done. And the last thing is to thank the town crew, Ryan Zerflu and Abel Schultz, because they were so involved and cooperative. I mean, we worked with them, but a lot of times they had suggestions and we accomplished some things that were over and above what we originally planned because we had their help with the machinery that they had and their expertise in working with various other projects around the township. So I just want to make sure that my thanks and the committee's thanks to Ryan and Abel are expressed at this board meeting. So
It's been a great team. I mean, committee to Public Works and everybody. Yeah.
so that's it.
Nicely
So,
done.
Again, thank you.
We'll do a standing. Standing. Tim's actually doing a standing ovation.
Yes, correct.
We just can't see.
Okay,
Okay, anything else?
About all that land
Nope.
lots.
Subsequent related.
I'm done.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
Thank you for the time.
Thank you, Dave.
You're welcome.
Okay, so the next, so 6D then is related to Kennedy Park. Do we want to cover any details of that?
Did you want to revisit it or do you want to wait?
I don't think we need. I think we should, well, okay, the county's waiting, right? The county is willing to wait and they're working with the resident or the son of the residents. And so I don't think there's anything for us to worry about at this point.
So the last time that the town board met, we were having the county help us with it. So I guess the other avenue would be is if the town board wanted to have the attorney work on trying to get that easement. So if we're gonna wait, we're gonna continue to let the county sort of help us.
Yeah, I think so.
So is that the
does that make
direction you
sense to
still
you?
want to continue with, or do you want to pursue the attorney?
I don't think there's any rush to
Okay.
involve the attorney.
I agree. I think we're getting progress. And you know, let's just keep that plate spinning.
Okay,
Are you talking about Bicentennial Park or Kennedy Park on the evening?
Kennedy Park.
Kennedy
Okay. Because there's also that other item on the.
for bicentennial.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So Kennedy Park is where we're just having the county help us with that. So we're gonna leave that as is.
Where is Bicentennial Park? Across from Kennedy.
Right across the country.
Oh, okay. It's a.
Do you want to pull up those photos from the
Mostly
packet
nature
that
and stuff
maybe
like
would help
So this
refresh?
is, yeah, so there's this issue is the one that the county has, and that's the one that's being taken care of.
I mean, there's a pause now, right, because of the weather.
Right, but they had an auction, so these were older ones, so I think some of that's been cleaned up.
Yeah.
And then our concern was more with the encroachment of a shed. And that is more of an us issue. So the county was helping us with that. But if we wanted to take further action or we wanted that to be quicker, we'd have to get our attorney involved.
I think what would cause us to make it move along more quickly is if and when, really more when the house goes up for sale. We want to make sure that you know, that property doesn't change hands until that's tidied up.
And the son seems willing, but that's what I think Dave had sent an email and it was a little unclear that, you know, the county is not it's the county stance that they're not taking an issue with that as being a county zoning problem.
The shed and the lean-to.
Yes,
Yeah. But they also seem to, well, maybe I'm reading into this a little bit, but they seem to not be too concerned because they were getting cooperation from the son.
right, but I don't think that they're looking at that as being a zoning violation. The encroachment.
No, right. I guess what I'm thinking is if they think that the son is working on it, even though, once the weather turns, he'll work on it. That we're not in a rush to get the property documentation in place yet.
Right.
But
if
we would want to, but yeah, we could, but I don't think there's any harm in waiting.
Yeah. So.
But we should keep it open as an option.
Yeah.
I think it has to be an option.
Yeah. Brings us to the next, do you want to move to the next item?
Yeah, let's do that. And this is the property swap that maybe or maybe isn't the property swap.
So we had two items that were kind of sitting out there. They were the Lake Harriet Cemetery deed and the bicentennial deed that we asked Bill to look into. So I reached out to him and I got Deb, and because we just have never gotten closure on those two issues.
Mhm.
So she said, yep, I see that. She said, don't ever give an attorney the original copy.
Oh, that's it. That's all you got.
I did make a scan of it. So we have a scan. So this right here is a scan of that original. What's happening here? This right here is a scan, of that original document where that land was traded originally for Bicentennial Park.
Oh, and it just wasn't finished? It just wasn't recorded?
It was never recorded.
Okay,
It was one-sided, wasn't it?
What's that?
It was one-sided, wasn't it? One set of documents was recorded, the other wasn't.
Exactly. One set was recorded and one set wasn't.
ah,
And it's from 1970.
8, I think, or
Yeah.
something.
So that original document, I found it. It's original. And I found the original one, gave the original one to our attorney, who said, yep, I got to figure out what to do with it.
Mhm.
And that's where we left it. That's where it still sits today. What did he do with it? So I still haven't heard back what he did with it. We have the minutes. I've gone back, found, all the minutes that clearly, record that this was swapped. The CSM shows where the land was swapped. So, yeah.
and this, I don't see your screen, Jennifer. If there's a
Okay.
way for you to share that with me,
Do you have your
great. But
packet? If you don't have your packet, Tim, and you can go onto the town's website, it's on,
yes,
it's on the town's website. If you go to agendas and minutes, there's a packet, and in the packet, you'll see it. If you click on the packet.
okay, okay,
It's page 31 in the packet.
okay,
You'll see that original.
okay, got it. All right, I'll track that down.
Okay.
The last contact with attorney was, I missed the date.
Contacted me and Deb talked on Friday.
Okay, so recent.
Yeah, we talked on Friday, and I said to her that I had a board meeting on Tuesday, so she had thought that Bill was gonna get back to me on Monday.
Oh, okay. But not. Okay. All right.
And just as a slight addition, the current landowner of that decrepit property, Jesse Strabhauer, believes that he owns that triangular piece that cuts across the entrance to Bicentennial Park.
Right.
He in his purchase and in the documentation that he got in the plat map.
His title work.
Yep, title work and title insurance and the plat map from Dane County. He believes when he bought it that it included that. I'm not saying that that's legally correct. I'm just saying that's what he believes, and obviously he wants to get resolution
Right.
to that issue because he's the property owner and he plans to either demolish or burn the house and build a new house in its place. And obviously he would need to know where those boundary lines are to accurately do whatever he's going to be doing. He may have already cleared out land that's not his. If that triangular piece along Highway MM that crosses Bicentennial Park entrance
Right.
is actually not really his.
Right. I believe he's out of town for a couple months.
He's in Arizona. Talked to him this morning.
Okay.
Okay.
And is he set up to meet with the planning commission or with us?
Yeah, I talked with him a couple of weeks ago and asked him to come to a board meeting to to tell us what he would like. And he said he would try to come via Zoom in March.
Oh, March. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So
And so the current title work, just so I understand, the current title work shows the land that we were swapping over in exchange for the triangle that crosses over the entrance to the park. And in actuality, it's showing that he owns both of those swapped pieces instead of one or the other. Is that correct?
That's correct. I mean, that's correct. That's what it looks like, because it looks like what happened was this was not filed. This paperwork that I found was not actually filed
Okay.
in 1978.
but that wasn't the intention,
Yes.
but that's legally where it's at.
What it looks like what happened.
Right.
Sure.
And it looks like somehow the ball got dropped.
Okay.
I don't know where, and so when we were approached about buying the land, that's when this was found.
Right.
And that's
Got
when,
it.
that's when we found out, and that's when, so this happened, so this was found out a long time ago. It was just kind of, what's the resolution going to be? And that was our attorney's job.
Okay.
It's kind of like the thing you said before, Tim, on that encroachment at Kennedy Park. I mean, what happened here was the ownership changed hands.
Yes, exactly.
And the
And
property delineation was not actually, or whatever you want to say, completed or
yes,
accurate or whatever.
yeah. And so the buyer ends up with a piece of property that isn't what it should be. And that's going to be a problem.
Or the town ends up with a piece of property they thought they had, which they don't now. I guess I don't really know.
I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, the entrance has been there for a very long time, like, you know.
for
so-
sure.
So, I mean, there's that, but yeah, to that point that I think that the CSM has it on there, the one that's recorded, but again, I don't know. I
Is
have
it-
no idea.
Does it make any sense to have Attorney Morgan at the same meeting that the owner of this property?
If we could do that. I haven't heard back from.
I don't know that
Attorney
he would
Morgan,
want-
So yes,
Right.
if we can get him, if that all works out, we could do that.
Unless,
I guess I was hoping he would let us know, and maybe he's still working on that with the county.
Yeah.
And.
Well,
the
we'll find out something from him before March, from Bill Morgan. Well, okay, I'm feeling optimistic. John.
Ideally.
Optimistic.
How much land is this triangle approximately?
I don't
No,
remember.
exactly.
Not
It's not
an acre,
giant.
not a half acre.
I don't think so.
It's such a small sliver. It's not a half acre.
But
It's such a small sliver. It's completely unbuildable.
But it extends a long way and it also crosses the Bicentennial Park entrance. I mean, it's.
Yes,
probably-
right.
I don't know how far it is, but it's probably 150 feet at least long. I don't have the plat map in front of me, but it's a significant. It's a significant linear piece of land that's along Highway MM that crosses the entrance of Bicentennial Park.
And some
Yeah.
of that would be county easement.
No, no,
Right away, no?
no. Well, I mean, you got from the middle of the road, you got that easement, but
Right.
other than that.
Basically this piece right here.
No, it's the one that's down.
Right here,
Right
this
there,
piece right here.
that.
Yeah.
So it's not little.
Green area.
I mean, it extends a long way and you can see it goes
And
over.
that's the park entrance
Right.
right
Oh,
here.
wow.
So we essentially, it was like a lance, or no, this is,
The top of that purple part
Yeah.
was flipped and made that little wedge.
yeah, so like this, it would be like right here would be
Mhm.
ours. This, if you cut this off right here, it'd be like the tip of this triangle.
Mhm.
And then it like flipped over and we gave them this piece right here.
Um,
So it was kind of like an even Steven.
Mhm.
Right,
And so it made this, so then if you looked at this piece, it would make that piece looks like kind of more rectangle.
Mhm.
That makes sense to me. Hopefully the owner will see that and see that's an obvious swap and looking at the paperwork that
Yeah, so.
obviously somebody failed. But
Right, so then it would have
Yeah.
made that rectangle piece instead of making this looks like an odd shape, right?
Yep.
Like, see that?
Yep, makes a nice.
But see that's still his, but
But
that's,
but
I
this,
see.
yeah, see, that's,
we lost
oh,
it.
sorry.
But the owner thinking that, the owner's already cleared all the way to the drive. Because that's what he was told that he bought in the legal documents that he signed.
So his expense in this, his effort in this is really the clearing right now. I mean,
He loved it. He didn't make any effort. He had a great time with it.
yeah, I just wondered if we'll pay you for that clearing right.
Oh, we don't
there
need to
and
pay
just
him.
Get this over
No.
with, you know?
He'd pay us to clear more.
Very good.
Yeah. Wow.
Well, so just to tie this up for tonight, so the owner, we'll see him in March,
I
probably.
think that's what, yeah, the plan is to see him in March.
We'll get a hold of Attorney Morgan,
He's, yeah.
see what he wants, see what he
Yeah.
knows, see what he wants to do, see what
We
he's.
got contact if I don't hear from them.
Okay,
And
because I
so,
think that's really the next important step is to hear from him.
and then, so then the second part of this is then the Lake Harriet one is so we have done everything.
Mhm.
It was like, how do we file it? Where do we file it? How do we get the deed? Here's the next one. I am waiting.
Yeah.
For the answer to that as well.
Yeah.
So I
think
wanted
they're talking-
to know
Mhm.
that I'm trying.
It's in the works.
Well,
I-
I think he'll snap back. If, I don't know if he was gone over the holidays or, whatever it is, but
2 years.
he took a long vacation. Okay, well, okay, so we get something. to
So
wrap up.
we'll keep on this, but there's only so much babysitting I can do, so. Like I gotta go back, I gotta do my job, so he's on it,
Right.
I'm doing it, but
He did have some, I remember about it wasn't a full year ago, but he turned over some of his work to a different
oh,
attorney.
he did.
Do you remember that?
No,
Maybe
maybe I was.
That one should be.
we could probably find out from Debbie if.
I'll go sit in
Somebody
his
else should
office
take
if
it.
you want.
Anyway, okay, so let's,
These were two outstanding, and if there are any more, you just let me know, but I think these were the two big ones we had was these two.
okay,
I mean, neither one of them being like huge. I mean, I think the bicentennial now being a bigger issue only because now that has changed ownership, which at the time hadn't.
Right.
but-
okay.
And then the Lake Harriet being more of like, I guess, just tidying it.
A
up.
cleanup, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Yep.
Any other questions, comments? Stephen, Lauren? No, okay, or Tim?
No, nothing for me.
Oh, yeah, here, and then if you want, in the packet, there was just a little bit of me back and forth with, Dan Frick is the surveyor at Dane County, and just a little bit back and forth, about, I did come across easement in the notes. It appears by the notes that the first survey, the intent of the survey was the land swap between Reynolds and the town. We have a deed on file from the town to Reynolds, but we do not have a deed from Reynolds to the town. I highly recommend you scour the minutes, which I did. So this is just more of my back and forth and him kind of helping us through. So.
Let's go on to next set of items. Item 7. Fire EMS. Let me just, as long as I'm talking, let me just do Belleville. They just called a meeting for an update on the new Glarus project. It's just an online meeting on January 26th. That's all I know about it. Oregon and
Oh, that's Tim.
Tim,
Yes. Yep. Are you ready for me?
yep, go ahead. I'm done.
All right. So we are continuing to have conversations about expanding, updating, moving the fire station in Oregon. Last I spoke, as an update to you, that has been put off. Building a new fire station someplace else has been put off until early to mid 2030s. Somewhere between 2032 and 2034. However, we have had continuing conversations about the possibility of building an annex building in the vicinity of the current fire station. And so we are having conversations with property owners, specific property owners, about that possibility. The issue that has come up is if we're not going to build a new fire station or a second fire station, we at least need to update the safety issues, the firefighter safety, fire and EMS safety issues that are still within the building that we're currently in as a fire station. The bays where the fire state where the fire trucks are currently kept are substandard. They would not be considered current bays. It's getting crowded in there. And so we're continuing to work with our architect to consider what the possibilities are about reconstructing the bays associated with the current fire station. Secondly, the health and safety of our fire and EMS workers. There is a dire need to put some separation between the living space and the active space in the fire station and the equipment room, all of the clothing that the firefighters are wearing when they come in from a fire. Those need to be essentially quarantined until they can be laundered. And so we are working with the architect to take a look at what we can do with the current space adjacent to the current bays to repurpose or to expand those bays into a dedicated contamination space where all of that, the fire clothing can be gathered after a fire and laundered before it is put back into use. And so we have a concept meeting coming up February 18th, I believe. No, I think it's February 9th. Let me take a look quick. It is Monday, February 9th. Our architects are coming back in. And before that happens, we are expecting to have some additional conversations with at least one property owner about the potential for building an annex, a space to house our equipment that is less used, and in doing that, also make space for a future ladder truck if that piece of property specifically can be purchased and built on. And so prior to the meeting on the 9th, we are Kent Knutson and our fire chief is going to have conversations with that property owner. And then on the 9th of February, our architects are coming back in to show us concepts that essentially would build out that piece of property if we could secure it, redesign and rebuild the fire station bays where our current fire trucks are kept and get those brought up to current standards, and identify the space needs and the design for that contamination room for the pre-laundered fire clothing. And so that meeting on the 9th is to talk about those three things, the contamination first, rebuilding the fire bays, and lastly, if we can secure this nearby property, what would be best to be built on that, to offload some of the clutter and excess fire equipment needs like a ladder truck in the future. So they're going to come with designs, they're going to come with ballpark dollars, and we will continue the conversation around what's the next step for the Oregon Fire Commission. Does anybody have any questions about that?
Nope, I think we're good. Thanks, Tim.
Yep, you bet.
In Brooklyn, Steve?
Brooklyn, the one issue that we're having is replacing the boiler system. They finally got underway. The headman from Hillstead, who had a knee replacement. He's, I guess, well enough, so he's been working on it. They're having, as they're doing that, they found another faulty furnace, which they have to take care of also at this time. So, but it's underway.
Okay.
Going
for a while.
Not the big stuff that the village has for the other department, but they're still holding on to a used ambulance. They've had offers, or they've had people rescind their offers. As of right now,
I heard they did come to a deal on that. I heard the city of Madison or Dane County is purchasing that.
Dane County,
For
that was the last. Yeah, that's okay.
Yep, they said that Dane County was buying that for $65,000.
Oh, very good. That's the number. They did get the number. This is from our last meeting on the 17th of December. So thanks, Tim.
Yes, it's happened since then. The fire chief mentioned it in our last meeting.
Excellent. Other than that, there's a new sign that's being constructed for the fire department. I think a lot of this is being taken care of by the village. The village has. They are also looking for another tender. The current tender is 1996 model. They're looking at that whole different span of years with different mileage on there. So I think that's where they are right now. I'm just talking about, it's not getting too old, but not necessarily getting new. It's just they're extremely. But there's I think I've got down written in circle. I got to think back what I said. There's about $200,000 available for a tender, which would cover. I'm not sure how much that would cover, but they're still looking into it. Otherwise, that's about it. They're getting rid of lots of. They've got a big room with lots of old hoses, other material that they've collected over the years, and they're trying to figure out what to do with it. Is it good enough for auction? Not huge problems. They just talked about the chief's use of the vacation hours. That he's got a lot left over, but we revamped that last spring, I think, as far as how they need to use the vacation hours. And I think going into December, he had about 60 hours they hadn't used yet. So I'll find out at the next meeting. And that's all I know. They spent a lot of time in Rock County for some reason, in Evansville and Beloit. They did a lot of calls there. We talked a little bit about Belleville and the EMS, which is, I think you know as much information as anybody does on that, Carl. So
yeah, and yes, but I'm not an expert on the situation right now, so
not either kind of.
Yeah.
It kind of seems like it's out of our hands there. So that's
I think so
good
too.
business. That's good.
Any questions for Steve, Tim, or Lori, or audience? Okay, thank you very much. Let's move on to item 8, which is clerk report. And there's information in the packet about the hours and the attendant info.
Right, it's the pretty straightforward. First thing was to decide what to do about the 4th of July because it falls on Saturday, and that's over the years, that was always kind of difficult to agree. Should we close on Saturday? Should we offer alternate pickup on Monday after, whatever?
Mhm.
This year, we're going to be open on July 8th on Wednesday, 2 to 6 p.m. to offset the fact that they are going to close for the holiday on the 4th. A lot of interest was expressed in expanding to more Wednesday hours throughout at least the summertime. And that's something I think the board, I don't know that we can make any decisions tonight. But when we had the vision survey, there were a lot of people mentioning they'd like more access to the refuse center on Wednesdays. And over the last 2 years, since we started with the curbside pickup on July 1st, 2023, the staff has been trying to keep kind of a record of the traffic that they get there. Because it's always been this juggling act of wanting to justify the hours we are open and this paying people to be there against whether it was really breaking even, is it? And they've really been trying to watch that, but it's not a really sophisticated. We don't have electronic sensors or anything like that, but they have been trying to be mindful about what makes sense. And one school of thought that I think the board might want to consider would be to just have the same hours year round. Because we've been experimenting with having these more hours in some months of the year, and a lot of times people don't catch it. It's a communications issue. The other part that still keeps happening apparently is people look online to see if we're open, and there are these phony websites that are Yelps. They're still going to the Yelp website and telling the guys, no, you're supposed to be open. And we've been trying for years to. And so then the guys have the website. I think they even printed out the exact web address to just hand people, say, no, this is where you actually want to see, because we do post the changing hours on our website.
Right.
But it's just, so anyway, I just want to throw that out. To just maybe make it we have a kind of, complex system here where we have different hours 4 times of the year we sort of switch off. But then we have to look at balancing that we need to provide the service. It's a service residents want, it's a service residents like, but then we want to make sure that we're staying within our means. And, so that I think we are going to have to look at that as we go forward. Right now,
Winter, do you think?
no, well, maybe just summer and rest of the year. Maybe winter is dead, like June, January through Wednesday. And I forgot to ask if people still bring Christmas trees. We used to get a lot of people would bring their Christmas trees there right after Christmas, and I haven't. Has been very, very slow the last 2 times we've been open. So right now, during January through March, we're open the 1st and 3rd Saturday, and the hours are, because I don't have them memorized. It's 8:30 to noon? Is that right?
Yeah. First.
Yep, that's right.
That is on the website, and you can find it anytime if you get the right website. So that
And we've tried to claim ownership and go through
we tried to get
whatever.
that one.
It's I
I
don't know.
And they'd come and they'd just be so angry and yell at the guys and say your website's you're open. It's not. I'm probably blowing it up because when something like that happens, it's just basically so absurd that you tend to just fixate on it. But it happens. It's
We
still
can't, but
happening.
yes, and it just seems like we can't. It's like we can't solve that. we're not being able to solve that problem. I would say.
Right, we aren't.
Yeah,
No, but anyway, the idea about some more Wednesday hours, different times of the year. But then with that is always that, how do we make it such that most people can kind of keep track of that easily and know what Wednesday to come and so forth? I think we need to talk about that. And maybe just bring that forward to the next meeting. And along with that, because the town made this effort to find a better, with Arlen's help, we did field trips last summer and we visited Rutland and we looked at other ways of arranging the traffic so we could have better control over who was making sure that people were town residents and so forth. And we have this new little container office. I think by virtue of that, it's really our responsibility to kind of look at what would be more access, what would be the best way to give as much access as we can afford to give that would be useful and people would appreciate, because people do like to bring their brush there. There's no doubt. And we do not charge for brush. I understand Rutland charges for brush. So that's another whole thing. Okay, so we're more trying to make this simple, short and sweet.
and Sheldon also, when I talked to him, he also mentioned, even if we were to like pull back on some Saturday hours to lighten to increase Wednesday. So, if we were trying to say, hey, we don't want the hours that somebody was working, the cost of the town. To sort of say, okay, we're just gonna shorten that window so people can come. It might be a little bit of a shorter
A
window.
little truncated, yeah.
Yeah, but then that would open up those Wednesday hours that people are asking and wanting for.
But that was a theme in the vision survey. We came up quite a lot.
Yeah.
People like that. That was something people like.
Yeah.
We're still getting that in the office.
Yeah.
And so I think it's something that would be nice to try to see what would work and what I know that would be bringing it back.
And
but-
people do like to deposit their oil. They like to drop off metal. They like to drop off big items rather than going to the trouble of calling Pelletary and we not taking it to the Dane County landfill would be another option. They can bring it to us. So all of those seem to be popular things. And then the last thing is we are needing a new TORC attendant. So we're down one TORC attendant. And so anyone listening, if you know anyone who might like to be, if you yourself might like to enjoy meeting other people and communicating and having a community Saturday morning, more power, welcome arms to anyone who might be interested.
Did you say last night that there was somebody, I don't know if Sheldon knew somebody or?
Yeah, he's been working on Keith Shotlet for years. Keith, we could just carpool.
Keith is so busy, I can't imagine. And he's so nice, he probably would say yes.
He's doing nice things for everybody.
I know.
But honestly, it is fun. It's fun to be down there. If anybody's in earshot, come on, think about it.
Do we want to post an ad?
I was gonna
We
wait
could.
until Sheldon had kind of well, Sheldon was gonna let me know
Okay.
when he was kind of thinking it was time, I guess, that we were sort of working on a job description because
Yeah.
we didn't really have a great one, and we were kind of talking about having a better one.
Yes,
So-
yes, so there were some things like we were wanting, you had some good points. We do want someone to be able to drive the tractors and operate the equipment.
Yeah,
And we also maybe should have a weight limit, lifting weights limit, because I always felt that inevitably you had to help some people with their stuff. And so, we want to kind of delineate that in the job description.
so some of the was like knowing if they would have to lift something, we wanted to make sure they knew that, so we
Right.
weren't
Yeah.
catch someone off guard.
Yeah.
So that's
I
why.
think that's required.
Yeah,
to say that,
yeah,
to disclose that.
yeah.
That is, yeah.
Does it make sense to, if we do post an ad, does it make sense to wait until you can sort of tell that spring is coming and that you're not gonna immediately be out and?
Yeah, I think that's a good
Physical
idea
weather.
because we won't need it, we have enough help. We have Michael Sheldon, we have enough help right
Okay.
now for every other Saturday. Yeah, we do. But truly, if you know of anyone.
And I think that will also postpone whatever we would want to expand for hours, obviously, because that's always been our problem.
Right.
And so we talk about this and then we have to also
Yeah,
ensure we have that help.
Just to be clear, the torque hours are on the town website.
Yeah.
That's what you meant about the website, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it seems to be the most obvious place.
People don't
I think.
see that, they find some other website
Help
that's
and stuff.
a phantom website that from 20 years ago or something.
I can understand if it didn't get updated regularly and they're searching for something, but yeah, that's clear enough.
Even Google tries to pull an organization's current hours,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
our schedule, I imagine it's too complex. I don't know what they have on their schedule, but with, every other and all this different set of hours and like.
Yeah, I mean, I was
don't
talking
think you can
about
find
two different things there, yeah. I do think this, and we've tried our best to make it clear to people, but one idea would simply be to just have it, some other area, townships, I believe Rutland, they have the same hours year round. With whether or not they have the business or not, they don't, they're just gonna be, people just know. But for them, they still don't have curbside, so they do have.
They have a different situation.
Yeah, that's different. Yeah.
Yeah,
But we could compare the numbers on, let's say 2025, what did we pay out in salaries, wages, and what did we pay in? I don't know what the.
See what
mix is.
what it looks like. Yeah.
Right, because otherwise we're making a decision based on just gut.
But we
hearsay.
have been trying to
Okay.
keep track of the use of it. And then another issue would be to actually consider whether to charge, not a lot, but a nominal fee for dropping off brush. Or we talked about having like a little license or permit or something. Those are all things that, but I think the good news is we kept it, we kept it going, and we can always improve what we're doing, so. Anyway.
So last fall, I know when I went there, they were collecting information about my first name and what street
Yeah.
I lived on. And I think what I was doing as far as what I was using,
Yeah,
were those statistics ever?
they keep.
Ever
they-
accumulated and-
It's down, they keep a log.
No, I just wondered whether or not, like for a period of time.
We have been keeping every, we don't have one in this packet because Lori dropped the ball, but we were keeping a monthly report that just showed for every Saturday we were open, how many vehicles, how many people dropped off brush, how many people dropped off other stuff, how many people paid to get rid of large items. And we have that for the last 2 years. Well, since July of 23. And so we've got a whole list of those that we could put together.
It'd be good timing to do that, since we're talking about costs versus what's happening.
Put that all together and look at it on a spreadsheet maybe or something like
absolutely.
that.
Maybe looking back to a window sticker of the past, which would take care of a couple of those items and just saying, you're obviously a resident.
Yeah,
And that pays for some of the offset of
Right,
brush,
right.
rather than make
Yeah.
people think like they're paying for the brush.
Yeah,
Or even really assistant hours and.
Yeah.
Never over from anyone else.
Just one quick.
go ahead.
There's one more quick thought on and schedules and hours and all that stuff. And you mentioned Pelletier a couple minutes ago. They've got a very nice just PDF calendar for the entire year of when the pickups are for your particular route.
Then we
So
could,
maybe model after
we could
that.
make a calendar like that, then people could print it out and put it on their, refrigerator or something. Then we have our
put it
Pelletier.
in the tax bills. I mean, we're like up to the gills with tax bills.
Even
inserts,
something.
But we could mail something out.
Or we could just put it on the website and say, go to the
Yeah.
website, download the PDF.
Yeah.
if they want.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We
that's a
can
very
have
good,
it at the tour for people to. we
that
can
would
hand
be a
out.
very good idea, and I
Yeah.
don't think it would be that hard to put something together. And
Yeah.
people can deal with a visual better often
Yeah.
than
Yeah.
something like what we have there.
I'll even do it
Yeah.
like,
You can look up
Credit
the
card
date,
things.
you know, they can look up what dates and then they could see, yeah.
And we could think about that to have it, if we could think ahead far enough for
That's a good idea.
2027, we could have it ready for the November 2026 election.
Yeah, yeah, you
Mhm.
can do that. Could probably do that very easily.
Yeah,
or nowish, and
Please.
I'm sure we'll have a mailing at some point
Sure.
this year that's not necessarily election related. But anyway, there are a few options.
Yeah.
There are a few options. Okay, anything else, Lori?
Mhm.
All right, M9, Plan Commission related. I feel like we should wait till next month on this one too.
the A was just like, that was just gonna be, what the, just that we all were at the plan commission meeting, and I was just gonna, if that was gonna be an opportunity, if anybody wanted to give an update of that meeting, but
Did we,
we were.
I think, did Bridget say she was gonna have a final draft by now-ish?
I think it's
Yes.
gonna
For
be
the next-
ready for the next
For the next-
commission meeting.
Okay, so that's
in
it.
the
That's-
week, right?
Yep. 20th.
Yeah, she's working on that.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. And B is related to that.
I think I would just like, I think that's something Lori had discovered when she was doing her edits. And I think this is something that I would like Lori to kind of explain, because I think that this is a really good example of what Lori was doing when she was working through the edits. And it's something worth pointing out. Lori, do you want to kind of describe how you found it, or what?
I'm not sure. What
So
you're talking
when
about.
you went through the edits, you read page, well, it would be chapter 8,
Oh,
page 4.
Yeah,
You read that and you said to yourself,
well, it was very cumbersome.
but you said, where are they, right?
Oh, the maps
Oh.
were separate from the text.
There was no map. There is no map.
Yeah, or there was no map.
Oh.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
You said, hey, there are no maps.
Oh, that one. Oh,
Yeah.
Totally. There's a map book that is as an appendix. And some of those maps are cross-referenced in the text. But I thought it would be much better to have the maps, the relevant maps right there in the text. So someone could look at them immediately. And then there were some things that, this was one of them, where I thought, well, wouldn't it be great if we had a map showing that? Because this is what we argue about all the time, about can someone have a split, or where someone wants to put in a new. So did Bridget actually pull that up for us?
So this right here, there's backstory behind these. There's backstory, but essentially this is these parcels a long time ago, when the comp plan was being written, the town said, hey, if there's gonna be additional development, it's gonna come from outside of where subdivisions are right now. That's where that's where you're gonna have development. That makes sense.
Mhm.
So when they drew where development was, they kind of pushed the boundaries out from where they were, and that's where they were. That's where the maps sat, that's where it looked like, and that just went on time.
Mhm.
Okay, comes to going to do the comprehensive plan to update it. All of a sudden it was like, oh my gosh, well, there's these parcels that have been included for years and years and years.
94, right?
Right, for all these years, and we never included. Well, if we take away their right, now we're taking away something from somebody that they probably never knew they had, because,
Mhm.
but it made sense at the time that that's where the original people thought that that's where development hit. So henceforth, that's where this wording came in. But when Lori read the wording, she's like, where's the map that correlates to where
Mhm.
the wording comes from? Well, okay, Jennifer has a map. Well, Jennifer doesn't want to be the holder of the map. She's not really interested in being the holder of a map. So the idea is, do we include the map what's the map look like? Where's the map go? And the map looks something like this. And the reason the map was included was these lots may or may not be developable, meaning that they may not have road frontage. There could be various reasons that they could not be. They haven't been vetted.
Yeah.
But
Basically put it,
they're open for vetting.
yes,
They
exactly.
could- It's potential, but they'd still need to be presented to the plan commission and gone through all the, yeah.
And you might have someone who'd be like, but why am I on the other side and I'm not included, you know? So
Mhm.
you could look at, they were never really clearly looked at during the time that when this was happening and discovered, they weren't really looked at because they had other fish to fry and they were just sort of like, oh my gosh, we don't even want to look at it. We don't really want to deal with it. We're just gonna move ahead and get along with it.
Yeah.
I do think it's time that the town should say, we should look at these, we should identify, we should either map them, or we should look at them and say, it's, probably don't want to take them away, because that's what was decided.
Right.
And I don't think you have to vet them. Bridget said you could include language that just basically said, yeah, right, you have to still, right, you still have to meet all the qualifications that any type of land would meet. So,
I don't love the idea of potentially including an inaccurate map.
I don't think you should
Oh.
include a map. I think you could just, not a map like this. This map you wouldn't include. The map that I have up here that's way too detailed.
Yeah.
But I also don't know that 49 is a great thing to include either.
Well,
It could
right.
really just be a map that's like it was before, where it's like, there's the boundaries of, and your parcel could land within there, and you're gonna have to go and ask, is one of mine within this area that would qualify, which is kind of what happens now. But it's something that you might want to ask the plan commission to look at, because we're in the process right now, and that's what Lori has been doing, has been going through saying, we want this to make sense. We want this comprehensive plan to make sense. And this is one thing that doesn't how do I want to say it? It's not,
You just can't visualize where these places are, or what we're talking about.
right.
That's all. I mean, I'm just trying to, because it's partly from me trying to understand zoning in general, but our township has these definite areas that are more conducive, not so conducive to agriculture, and more relevant for some other usage. And it would just be, I think, to give the planning commission and everyone in the township kind of an overview of what our township looks like. Because I think there's this bigger issue. Now, I had two little things I pulled from the newspaper in the last. One is the data farm thing that's happening all around us. I don't think we have a lot of big flat fields that are really gonna be desirable for that. But then, almost every other week, I get a flyer in the mail offering to buy my land for a hunting retreat for somebody. And it's sort of like, to me, I just think we need to have kind of a more focused idea about what potentially might be the demands on the land that we will have farmland coming up for sale. And to me, so yeah, this is just one. Well, yeah, these are all places where we already have a subdivision, but we could maybe add some more. Just so everyone would kind of just be looking at the township more comprehensively. It's just piecemeal. Somebody comes and they want to do X, and then we say, okay, and then, somebody wants to come and someone's gonna, I just think of this future where everybody has a little hunting estate where our farms used to be, and nobody's living there. People are, they're, I don't know, I'm probably being too dystopian right now.
It's the right time to do that.
But honestly, so the cap times, it was dairy land or data land. That's really a big issue right now. Yeah.
Or solar panel land.
Yeah.
solar farms too.
And then there's the rural, we can sell your property, we can get blah, 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 an acre I don't think my land is gonna be anybody's hunting. Unless you want deer running right across in front, yeah. If you wanna just shoot them as they run over the cornfield, but yeah. I think that was part of just my question was like, well, can't we just look at this township? Because there are parts that aren't good for farming. And we have to be realistic about that too.
There are maps for that.
Yeah,
Existing maps.
We
for
do
that.
have some maps of that, but you know, this was just one that I thought was crying out for, let's see what that looks like.
Did Bridget
She's
give
working.
you feedback on it? Of simplifying
This
it?
is from the last comp plan. This map here is from the last comprehensive,
Or the current one?
right, but the last comprehensive plan update, so.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, like today, the one that's current. Or
Right,
maybe the one from-
Standing's the one who gave us this map
Okay.
that we're looking at right now. This
Right.
is a Brian Standing map.
Right.
And so, like, these areas would be the one per the 2 acre minimum, right? So you'd have to have 2 acres minimum.
Mhm.
And I think there's just a general idea that we don't allow that anymore. And this would be areas that this is allowed.
But you don't want everybody to see this because they're just gonna assume they have that right. It's better to just have the idea that these are areas to look at, but people will just automatically think, hey, I can do this. It's not good to have that detailed.
You don't wanna
map.
give too much help,
Yeah,
too much
yeah,
help.
it might be misleading.
So, and the idea is like, right, so you'd have to like, for all the better, the words that you'd have to use is like, you're gonna have to have it looked at. And maybe the plan commission should look at it. That is a point of, you know, but these are areas in our township that at a point that probably someone looked at the farmland, that it wasn't good farmland, it was bordering existing subdivisions. And these are it, this
Right.
area addresses that. So, and they were not gonna take that away, but we have the wording, we have no mapping, so it to Lori's point becomes, what are we going to do?
Jennifer, I'm on. Can
Oh,
I? Okay.
Yeah.
These areas are currently identified on the land use map as traditional subdivision areas.
Yeah,
So it's vaguely, I mean, not vaguely, you can find them, but maybe not to the untrained naked eye
yeah,
on there. So that's why when you guys were discussing it, yes, case by case, when it comes up, like we can find them for you. And what I think we're describing is just putting a better, not super detailed, but a better map out there that maybe outlines those parcels as opposed to having them in this big yellow blob is what Bridget has worked on. And that's what up to the commission or the town board to then add that to our comp plan. They're already verified, or they're already identified in the verbally, you know, by text in the plan currently. The map just doesn't exist that kind of identifies exactly where they are. It just shows a blob of yellow that's traditional subdivision. So it's not that tricky. This isn't really tricky. They're already identified. They're just not, I don't know if I would say boldly identified, but to a person doing the research, it would be hard for them to know that that's what that meant.
right, because the lines are, yeah, it would be hard
Yeah.
to distinguish the
Mhm.
lines.
Yes, exactly. So what I think,
Do you think it's just a matter of saying, hey, Bridget, can you do this?
no, it is just a matter of that they already are doing, like they've already done it. It's
Oh,
just whether or not
Good.
we would put them in or not. But like we would add that map to the,
Right, to discuss it with
right.
the plan commission.
Yes.
And the board would have final sign off on
Yeah.
it.
Take a look.
Right.
Mhm.
Take a rest.
Deciding whether or not this is something that you want to do because, and that's why we're asking, because.
I think it's valuable information. I mean, that's probably why you brought it up.
Well, I was just thinking that if I were ever to sit on the plan commission, there would be all kinds of things like that, that would be really helpful to me in just understanding how we make decisions about how to go forward with when people make requests for new developments or new construction or changing the zoning and all of that, just to kind of get a more of a kind of overview of how we think about the various types of zoning areas and districts that we have.
So
I don't-
technically, these would be areas that would be outside of the platted subdivisions.
But that,
Yeah.
that could be at some point
Right.
in play.
Right.
So they would be
Yeah.
sums that would be greater than 2, and so the county has rules, like you can't make a CSM, the CSMs can't be more than 4 or something. So it's not like you're gonna create a CSM and make it into a subdivision, if that makes sense. There's a rule, there's already rules on that.
Right.
So there's not like this, there should never be a big concern that you're gonna take those areas outside of a platted subdivision and make it in. If that, there's also that other, I guess, safety net that's also not gonna happen.
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
I don't think this needs a vote, but
Mm-mm.
does anybody have an objection to including a map? Tim, I'm asking you too. Steve, you say no, Lori says no. Tim, are you okay with including a map?
Yes, absolutely. I think anything that can bring some clarity is always helpful.
Okay, sounds good. So let's do that.
We will review it and have further discussion. It would be all
Mhm.
approved as part of accepting all of the changes for the amended document. Is there a number of other, mostly minor, but there's a series of other, and all of them have to be reviewed and approved by the plan commission, then the board. So you'll have those layers of review.
I think it's, okay, I should have been more specific. So we should keep the process going to create a map.
Yeah,
And then we'll approve the map.
it'll be presented for everyone to look at. It's still being developed. That's just
Mhm.
I think sometimes the plan commission just likes to get that directive from the board.
That's fine. That works. Okay. Anything else on that one? Then we've got 9C, and there's a letter from us to Ginny Owens.
So I don't know if you guys remember, we got the letter about the house that's at the corner by Country View? Yeah, Country View. And it was the anonymous letter about the condition of that home that was there. Yeah.
It's north of CC, they're north of the intersection, right? North of Country
I
View.
think there's a couple of pictures of that
Oh, yeah.
house. Yeah. So Ginny had actually been in here to talk to us about, that's a family that owns a lot of that property there. And she'd actually been in here to talk to us about, Stephanie and I, about that property. And they had kind of indicated that they were interested in possibly taking the house down, but it's a family and it seemed like,
It's spooky house.
yeah, she mentioned that they have people that asked to take pictures in front of the house.
It's a perfect house for spookiness.
Spooky book, monster covered.
So, they are, not in Wisconsin right now, but, we talked, about them coming to a plan commission meeting to discuss, what their plans are. They are getting together with family. So April is a really busy month. They're not gonna be back. And April's really busy because we have an election, then our meeting schedules, and then they have a trip out of the country. So May, they are going to attend the May Plan Commission meeting to discuss. They are going to probably by that time, they'll have met with all of their family members and should have a plan of what they're going to be doing. So the town allows for everyone to rebuild an existing farmhouse. So what we could try to do is, get them to take that house down, then have a deed, that they could rebuild. That spot's probably not gonna be but the county would work with them because the county has a requirement that you rebuild at the same spot or within 100 feet, I even think of an existing, but that would be something they would then at some point in time, because I don't think they're ready to rebuild obviously right now, but that is in the works.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Let's move on to 10, and that's Road and Public Safety Committee. 10A, actually, I'm gonna postpone until next meeting. Because Dustin from Payne and Dolan will be here and Arlen will be back. And we will likely vote on what to do with the remaining 11,400 or
Have
whatever.
they responded since the last correspondence I remember came from us and there was nothing?
Wow.
Page 52 was what
Yep.
Dustin sent to me late last night.
I think I just,
I thought we were done talking about this.
okay.
That's my opinion is we gave them significant opportunity to address this issue. We went about calculating and recalculating and doing a survey out there. I'm done with this issue.
And we're not
That's
gonna
my
talk- well, Tim, we're not gonna talk about it tonight. But I think we're gonna have a mixed vote. But let's talk about it next month when Arlen is here too.
Are we going to debate it with Payne and Dolan, or are we going to have
No.
that as a deliberation at the board level?
At the board level.
Okay, then I don't know that inviting him to that meeting is the right thing to do. If we're going to make a decision at the board level, that's one thing. If we're going to have a debate with him, we've offered over and over and over to discuss this issue, and he has ghosted us.
And I don't disagree with that at all. I think the idea was that if we needed more information from him, we would have taken it weeks ago or months ago. But well, we haven't got it, and so we may find that we don't need anything from him, and maybe we don't need to have him here, which is a possibility.
Yeah, and so I don't want to get his expectations up that he's going to have anything to say to us next month. That's all.
Yeah.
I don't think we should put him on the agenda.
I hear what you're saying. Okay, well, let's ponder that,
Okay.
and maybe, and then decide whether we keep him on or not.
Okay.
I think maybe what we should do is like an inventory of what we want from him as far as information, if we feel that we don't have enough information. I kind of feel that I do. But I really don't know what he would say. But I'm also not sure.
Yeah, he's just going to come and plead his case. We gave him plenty of opportunity to do that. I don't need any more information from him. I don't need any more information from him.
Okay, gotcha. And then we don't have to make this decision tonight, but if Steve or Lori, if you think that there is something missing that you want to hear from him, it doesn't have to be in person, I guess. We could try to get a hold of him again, but that seems to be very difficult.
I would agree with Tim. Every time that reached out and the committee has reached out to him, and it's been he just has been blank, and he's had a lot of time, and I would agree that I would agree with him coming in would be almost offering debate or
right.
Yeah, I'd say don't put him on the agenda.
I was at the Road and Traffic Safety Committee meeting it was just the other day, right? A week ago. I don't know what day it is now. Thursday. It's Thursday.
Sometime in January.
I'm inclined to want to hear what Dustin has to say, but I just take the minutes. I don't have what. I feel like if you look down to item D, the Road and Traffic Safety Committee is going forward by trying to look at our contract language to give better. I think it was a case of not having enough firm guidance on when to communicate. I think that the committee's upset about the fact that they weren't informed of this overage in a in real time. And I also gathered that this project had some complexities to it, given that it wasn't just a straight roadway with all those cul-de-sacs and all those driveway seams and things. And that's where the overage came with this, working around, making sure that we got all the driveways matching the new pavement and so on. That isn't defending anybody. It's just that Abel has mentioned that, others have mentioned that there's some things about this particular project that made that a little trickier. That's all. I'm just reporting what I've heard there, but I'm willing to have him come and hear what he has to say. If nothing else, I think it'd be a good professional development exercise for this person to have to plead his case. I'm a little more open to the idea that there are overages and there are things that go wrong in construction projects and so on. So I'd be happy to hear what he has to say. But that last item 10D, you have in your packet, the committee came up with a revised contract and a series of documents that would go along with it. It's all there for you to review, so that we would just make sure we got all these things signed off in a very organized manner, so that we wouldn't have these miscommunications.
Well, let me jump back to 10A and say, we don't need to decide tonight, so between now and, a couple of weeks from now.
Yeah,
we'll make a call.
Arlen was not at that meeting either, so at the road and traffic meeting.
Okay, so we'll still have an agenda item on next month's meeting about the payment itself. We may or may not have Dustin there in person, so we'll sort that out. Then let me jump to 10D, because I do have a question. Do you know, Gloria, the source of the documents before they were edited, or whoever wrote them?
The document was put together by Robert Pultz, and the committee worked. They had a working meeting in December, which I was not able to attend.
Okay.
But the committee reviewed it and with Bob, and then Bob also prepared I think there's something like 7 other little, I don't know if they're all in here. If you look at page 79, notice to proceed, it's just a way of documenting every step of the way. But the main thing was what to do when you have an overage. And sometimes I feel like so often there's something that goes badly, a project will go badly for all kinds of reasons. And then people decide, oh, we have to make sure that never happens again. And then you go through this kind of thing. But I'm just inclined to think there were aspects of this particular project that made it complicated and made, that's neither here nor there. I think we want to look at our contract documents, and this is our opportunity. Yeah. And that, I mean, the goal of the committee is to just make sure that going forward, we always keep open communications and we make it really clear. Here, nobody really ever told us about this overage, I gather, and it was a done deal.
I think that was one of the main complaints with the communication.
Yeah, and everybody loved the job they did. That's the other thing. They want to make sure they were pleased with the work that was done. It wasn't that it was a shoddy job, So I think it's complicated,
right?
Like everything.
But it was made worse by the lack of communication. It was just like no communication. And Sue tried multiple times.
Nobody. We would reach out and got nothing back. Nothing. And it was very frustrating for everybody. So the board's job now is to look over these documents, and at some point, I imagine we'll have to have an attorney look at them.
Okay. I mean, I think considering that Payne and Dolan is a major player in road work around here, right here, literally here. we need to sort out how we're gonna interact with them, and everybody needs to know the rules.
Yeah, so our job is to read that document and be ready to go forward with it. I don't know if we can review it tonight. I don't know.
Let's not do it tonight.
I think
I
it's,
think it's homework. I think.
yeah, and then I don't know, what Jennifer, what are your thoughts?
I included in there because it's a little discombobulated because you have the road maintenance contract agreement, but it should go hand in hand with what we send out for the bid work.
Yes,
Mhm.
And so
Right.
that's what it didn't really make sense. So I included
so,
what we send out for the bid work.
yeah, that should
And
be
that's
part of
what-
the package.
Right, so
we
we didn't
review.
really, right, so that's why I didn't really understand.
Because
So,
that's another document that's part of the sequence.
right,
Would be
right.
the bid document.
Right, so if everyone's gonna be reviewing it, I feel like we should be reviewing, so you should be starting on page 56, and you should be starting with, let's review the bid document, that would flow into the documents that were newly created, because everything should then just be a consistent,
Right.
and everything should have the same kind of tone and the same kind of language and the same kind of,
Right,
everything should look very same.
right. And in
and-
this particular project, the bid work document was the weak link, I suppose.
Right, so everything should be matching, like,
Right.
we should be using the same words, we should be using the same terms, we
Yeah.
should be, so that everything should flow once we're bidding, because that's where it really starts, is once we
Yeah.
start to bid.
Yeah.
And then it should flow into everything else that they just really created. And so when I looked at that, that's where I was a little
Yeah,
confused.
you're right. And
Yeah.
there was, and the committee did want to reword that also, the bid request, to get more specific language about how to measure and what the measurements were and so forth,
Mhm,
right?
mhm.
That was a bit of the,
Mhm.
Because I did
And,
notice,
and,
oh, go ahead.
and while I agree that we can always improve our contract and bid documents, it is a completely separate issue from the work that's been completed. I do not want this conversation about our future bid documents and request for proposal to have any bearing on what's been done. What has been done,
The work was great.
those are two completely separate issues.
Yeah,
Because if we combine what we're going to do going forward with what's been done, we essentially are saying, it's our fault, just pay him. And I don't agree with that at all. I don't agree with that at all. Because it allows companies like this, who are the professionals in this business, to say, we're going to underbid all these projects and we're just going to come through with an overage at the end. And if I were one of the competitors, I would say, that's not a fair bid. That's not a fair bid at all. If something changed during the project, then we need a change form and we need to sign off on it before we spend the money. We don't spend the money and then months later come back and bill us for stuff we never signed up for.
Right.
And the fact that they use more material is they're the professionals. The amount of material that it takes to get this job done, they are the ones who are the professionals as to what that takes. And that's what's included in their bid. And they have a habit of doing this on lots of projects. And they're not going to do it here. Because it's a big number. It's 10%. It's $50,000 or $60,000.
Right.
We signed off on a contract, on a bid, an official bid, to spend X amount of money, and now they're coming back and they said, and another $60,000. We didn't sign up for that.
Right. So I hear what you're saying, Tim, again, but I think the angle on rewriting docs or using completely different docs is to protect the town from
Yes,
a
I agree.
situation like this.
I am not debating,
But
should our documents be better? Yes, I'm always in favor of improvement, always.
right. Well, let's keep going on the Raven Oaks project next month. Discussing it,
Okay,
because then we'll have the full crew here. And we'll see where we all fall on this.
I have one question. That would be, the question that I have is that we have never included tonnage in our road bids before. And so I noticed that when Payne and Dolan, or when Dustin answered, he said that they measured the square yardage of the individual streets using a GPS rover system, TopCon HR after the completion of construction. I know nothing, zero. What do we use? What does the township use? Like, how do we measure? Like, how do we know? What do we use?
we rely on them for that guidance.
Okay, so, but when we put it in there, when we put that number in there, when we tell them, so this number here, the number of units that we put in there. So we're telling them that we want 34,980 square yards.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we've never done that in the town before. We've never put that number in that column before. We have never done that in the town before when we've gone to bid. We've always let the contractor fill in that number.
Okay,
This is the first year we put that number in there.
okay.
So my question is how did we determine that number? So obviously the committee determined that number somehow. And so the problem has become is that what Dustin is saying is he's saying, hey, you know, the town.
Can I do this? I hate to do this. I hate to cut this off, but let's move it to next month, because then Arlen will be here. We'll have everybody who can vote. I just don't want to capture something now and not have it.
Yeah, someone else is not here to listen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know that's not satisfying, but let's do that. Okay, I'm gonna move on to 10B then, the page 66, I think.
So 10B is this is the Jerry Jensen Windbridge Road extension. And they have completed paving the road, but they have not shouldered the road. So the road is not complete yet. So there is a letter of credit. I don't completely understand how these all work, but I did give the bank a call to let them know we needed to extend that letter of credit because of the shouldering. I'm not exactly sure, but the Road and Traffic Safety Committee said they'd like to contact Janine about the town doing the shouldering.
Yes.
Oh,
And
What
then,
they discussed at the
Yeah.
meeting, and Abel and Ryan would do the shouldering.
yeah,
As opposed to the town hiring a subcontractor or Janine hiring, then we would charge back, I think, isn't that
Yeah,
the way it would go?
yeah.
We would then charge it back to Janine. and
Yeah.
Complete the paperwork.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they think they can expedite it that way, as opposed to waiting for a subcontractor. The guys can just go in and do it.
Yeah.
Quite efficiently, and then it'll be all wrapped up.
yeah.
Then
So,
we are going to step into a position of warranting that work. Then the town is going to be in a position of warranting that work if we do that work. As long as we understand that, okay. But now we're stepping in as a contractor to do that work and to warranty that work. Is that what we want to do?
That's what the Road and Traffic Safety Committee talked about at their last meeting. I think it goes forward then to us, to the board.
I guess they
Okay.
didn't, I guess they didn't really, nobody gave that directive that was like a
That was a
question.
done deal, no.
Yeah, so
It's
I don't,
a recommendation.
did they talk about the scope of that besides just doing the shouldering, also warrant
No, they did not mention the word warranty.
And they didn't, there wasn't a cost involved. I have no idea what the cost of
Yeah.
that is. I don't even know.
They're looking into it. It wasn't, nothing was decided.
Yeah,
It's going to be revisited at the next committee meeting.
Is that
It's
this
coming
week?
up, it's
Or
coming.
next week?
February 11th.
February.
Oh,
But
okay.
The idea was that Abel and Ryan would look into it and see what would be involved. So we aren't locked
Yeah.
into doing anything at this point. And then it would ultimately be up to the board to approve it, whatever. And if that's a major concern, then that will have to be looked at.
I think
The
that just,
warranty.
the letter of credit was just coming up. And so I think my concern was the bank was calling me asking what to do. And I just didn't know if it could be released or not. And so the
And so
question,
the letter of credit is in place to support the developers agreement. And the developers agreement says, and there's an agreement between the town and the developer that says, I, the developer, are going to do this, and this to complete this project. And as a requirement that the town has, we require a letter of credit that says, and if these things on the developer's agreement are not completed per the engineered plans and specs, then the town will do them and draw on the letter of credit to pay for it.
oh,
That's what the letter of credit is for. And the letter of credit gets approved and paid for by the developer on an annual basis until the project is done and signed off. And so the bank is saying, hey, there's an expiration date coming up on this letter of credit. What do you want us to do? And from a town's perspective, captured in that developer's agreement, it says the developer will do these things. When they're done, it will be inspected per the developer agreement to make sure it was built to the engineered plans and specs so that an engineer can sign off on that completion to say, yes, it's been done. And until that happens, that letter of credit stands there saying, until it's done, we're going to have this available for the town to draw on to get it done if the developer doesn't follow through with their agreement. That's what the letter of credit is for. And all that is happening here is the annual deadline for that letter of credit is expiring. Do we need to extend it until the last of the work is done, reviewed by an engineer, and signed off as completed per the developer agreement? That's what's kicking this whole conversation off. There's an expiration date on that letter of credit that's required as part of the developer agreement.
It must have been extended already once because the date on this one is 2020.
Yes. Yes. Yep. And so it gets renewed, and typically a bank charges 1% of the letter of credit until it's no longer needed. And it's renewed on an annual basis. And
sorry.
if the bank wants to work with the developer, work with Janine to extend it for another 90 days and only charge her 90 days, that's between her and the bank per the developer agreement. But it needs to be in place until the work is done, signed off, completed, reviewed, and signed off by an engineer. And we can do the shouldering, but have we looked at, do we know what the requirements are of that the approved engineer drawing? It isn't just about shouldering. It's about making sure it's completed per the plans and specs. And I don't know that the town is qualified to do that kind of work, and whether we want to.
Right.
We've hired EMC to engineering. That's
Yes.
the one that we hired
Right.
for this project. So
They're the ones who are going to have to go out and look at it and sign it off as completed per the plans and specs.
Yeah, I think
Mhm.
Janine, I think that part of this, obviously, as everyone knows, Jerry passed away. And so I think Janine thought, well, the road's paved. I don't think that the shouldering, that's what I think. It just, I don't think she realized, because she dropped off, hey, here's the receipts for the road being paved. Now the letter of credit can be released. I don't think she realized that the shouldering needed to be done.
Just,
So
I feel like this.
just,
I feel like this should go back to the committee.
yeah, it
And-
is. It definitely is. So this is just an update.
And they
This
were
is
gonna
literally
just
just
look
an update.
into it. And
Yeah.
now we've unearthed what they should.
Yeah, so this is literally
They're
just an
gonna be
update.
considering.
Yeah.
If they're gonna use that method of.
Yeah.
Solving.
It's
the
just an
issue.
update that I just let the bank know that we're just gonna have to extend it because the shouldering's not done. So
Okay.
it's literally just an update. There's nothing
So
to
the-
decide.
Okay,
Yeah.
got it, okay.
Yeah, this is just an update.
But there's also a consideration as to whether or not our crew is going to do that work. And I think we need to be prepared to say that's okay or that's not okay.
And I think that should go back to the committee first
Okay,
with a recommendation coming to the board and explanation about why one option was chosen over the other. But
okay.
I don't know that they know what you just said, or well, Sue would.
Yeah.
Right? So I think we just need I think we need to have them fill in a couple bits of information and then get us a recommendation.
Okay. Until then, I think we should not jump in and shoulder the until that's been decided.
Agreed.
We shouldn't have our crew shouldering.
No, I think that should be part of the recommendation is
Yeah.
either we, and I'm not saying the board would necessarily approve one way or the other, but I think that we should have a recommendation from the people who are the town experts.
I agree.
Work.
Agreed.
It also seems like there might be some additional considerations because that is up on a hill. So in terms of water drainage,
Runoff.
water flow, erosion, there
There could
could
be.
be some different additional requirements for the actual grading along
Yeah.
the road that may be specified in the plans like Tim is saying, but maybe not aware by the township crew or the road and trips and traffic safety.
Right. Right.
I think there's a contract out there for building that road, and a part of that contract is the shouldering. It just hasn't been completed yet. Because that is part of building a road. Paving is a portion of it, but the shouldering is also that because that's in the engineered drawing. Here's where the paving is, here's where the shoulder goes. Here's what that shoulder requires in terms of aggregate size and how far out you go from the road, all of those things. And I don't know if we should jump in. And we'll wait to hear from the road and traffic safety group. But I would expect to hear that we shouldn't jump in as a contractor to finish that project necessarily.
Right. Okay. All right. Thanks, Tim. Anything else on that topic before I move on? Let's go to 10C about a movable signboard. And was there something in the packet, Jennifer, and I totally missed it?
This was something that we were talking about last fall.
Yeah, right.
And Steve was even looking, and maybe Tim too, you're looking for used movable signboards. Well, the thing that seems to have happened is that the Road and Traffic Safety Committee recommended that we get such a thing, but it didn't get into the budget.
Oh, well.
For this year. So that's why I'm bringing it up. We were talking about, was it something like 15 grand?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we talked about one or two.
Yeah.
It really varies, because
Yeah,
Depends
you
on
were
what you
finding all kinds
you
of.
were looking at solar, we were
Yeah.
looking at, and you have to look at illumination, what's how far are you able to see this sign, is it portable?
We talked
Yeah,
about
we did all that.
illuminating. But it would be really versatile because you could use it for traffic calming, you could use it to remind people of some kind of construction project. You might be able to use it when we're having one of our Ironman events. We could have it out here when we're having an election. mean, it would just be a kind of a useful thing to kind of help with communicating and.
Town board meeting tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Flash
Yeah,
that, what maybe,
right. Yeah, so.
if you'd like me to continue that, I mean, I'll do it the next.
But I
week.
think sadly that never somehow slipped through the cracks. We were gonna see if we could find some good ones. We just didn't. And alas.
They are available.
Yeah.
There were a lot.
But I don't think it
available
now,
around. It's just-
maybe we
it's
have
just
to
stuff
wait
around.
till next year's.
Well, I mean, it's not uncommon for us to make budget adjustments. I mean, it's kind of a high bar. I mean, I don't,
Well-
there'd have to be discussion about it.
Steve was kind of optimistic that we could really save money by finding a good used
Yes,
product somewhere.
yeah, and there's a lot, there's,
Yeah, and I think Tim was on that too, but I mean, I can't speak for him, I can't see his face. But I think he likes doing that too,
I think
looking for deals on those things. Yeah,
I think I talked to Lauren a little bit from the village,
Yeah.
just kind of, I put that in
Yeah.
here, just kind of figure
Yeah.
out, say what, you know, what does the village pay for the signboards?
yeah.
Yeah, oh, they got some new ones.
And,
Okay.
I've got pretty access, she's our neighbor, so.
Communities even borrow them from each other, I gathered.
Some of
We
them,
could,
Maybe.
yeah, I mean, we need our own, cause we've got a lot going on.
Yeah.
Like we would be using it year round.
Can we rent them?
I think you can, I don't
Okay.
know. I think looking at Timmy's already searching.
If we could rent it.
Look at the clock.
He's got 3 lined up already.
Yeah, it does depend on how often we think we would use it, because we gotta store it and maintain it and insure it and put it out on site. And if we just use it once a year or twice a year,
Right.
what does it cost to rent it? And so we can, have a quick conversation about, hey, it looks like we're gonna use this thing maybe quarterly. This is what it costs to rent it for 3 days. Here's what it costs to buy one. What should
This
we
year
do?
might be a light, well, okay,
Yeah.
I'm thinking just road work, right?
Yeah.
This is a lighter year for road work. Maybe we can wait till.
You said the village has one?
I think they
I think
do,
that,
Maybe it'd be worth asking them how much they use it, and maybe we could split,
yeah.
maybe a rental would offset their cost,
We
or,
rent it from them if we.
I mean, if they're only using it 4 times a year, we might do the same.
Yeah. And if it is about road work, oftentimes, that's part of the contract for having the road work done,
Yeah,
is that the contractor manages, the signage, and they may choose to, rent one themselves, or not.
yeah.
So it's just how often would we use it as the town? Because I know we have stuff that accumulates in our storage building that, doesn't get used very often, and it's good to call that stuff out. This might be something we keep right up in front because we use it every month, or it might find its way to the back corner and we're selling it again in 3 years.
It's a good point.
yeah,
All right. It's hard to say.
I'll keep revisiting that.
Look at it again though,
Yeah.
just to see.
But I think,
Think it primarily came up as a
Yeah,
kind of reminder about safe speeds, because the
Oh.
Road and Traffic Safety Committee is really about safety. of
Yes,
People
right,
not
yes.
speeding.
it's right there in the name.
Yeah,
And the county provided us the last speed, sign
yeah,
Right.
yeah.
I think that would be.
at no cost to us.
Use this. I just don't know.
Yeah.
Is it? I don't,
Yeah, like when we
I
have
think
the
it's a-
electors meeting. That'd be cool,
Mhm.
because then people would drive by and they would see that, so we could use it for things like that.
Yeah, I think we could come up with a good.
Shares.
I don't know what magic numbers.
Right, then we'd have to get more furniture.
True.
We have to build a bigger town hall.
Chairs.
Yeah, it
Okay.
would end up ricocheting into a multi-million-dollar thing.
Okay, so we're good on that one for now.
That's it, then that's all. I
All right,
have.
so let's move on to the next page. Item 11 is the vision statement report. Thanks for including this in replacing the old one, was so tough to read anyway. The document that's on page whatever 80 is as close to final as possible. I sent it out to the vision committee folks. But it's just cosmetics and that's about it. So it should be, the content is exactly the same. It's probably whatever you saw last time. Whatever copy you got before,
But not ugly.
but. Let's see. I wanted to hear, I haven't heard back from Sharon on it, and I actually am not even sure if she's retired yet, or not. I thought she said February, but I'm gonna try to keep getting it to see if she hasn't. It's 90% of this, if not more, is her document, all the content. And it's really good. She did a great job. What I don't know is whether I want to include like the raw document that shows like the flip chart comments. For the community meeting that was held. So I don't know how that's gonna go. I'm guessing it's not going to include that. So it's probably, this document is probably the final one. And then maybe each monthly board meeting, we focus in on part of this and decide what kind of action we want to take, specifically like the quick win or the, what do we call it in here? The quick wins, what are the quick wins?
I think that was.
I think it's what it was. And there were plenty of them, going across the board on the different functions of the town. Some of them would be budget issues. Some would be, human resource issues, but that's kind of what I want to sort through. So I think that we'll make this a standing agenda item. And then I'll have some details below it as far as what specifically we should talk about that month. And of course, we'll take feedback as we go along. But that I think is the final document. I don't want to put it on the website yet until I hear back from Stephanie, Tim, Sharon, you. I'm going to take it because you put it in the packet that you were in agreement with it. So go with that. Do you have any questions? It's really the wrap up of the data gathering. And we're going to shift into the actually doing some things to check off to-do items on here. All right, thank you. Item 12, building committee report. I saw the office furniture document in there. So page 92. Whoops.
Yeah. So we should be getting the guy's office soon, and they ordered some furniture. So this was just, again, they went with that used office furniture that we went with in our office, and that was what they will put in their office as well. So
yeah,
it's just that.
Nice.
Excellent.
Yeah.
It'll be nice to have them out of the garage.
Yeah.
And then 93, page 93 is safe build report for the month or for December. Any questions about that? 14. Okay, let's talk about this one. Does anybody need a break at all? Are we all good?
We're almost there.
So do you have documentation? Are we just gonna push forward?
Well, because when we talked, we were like, there wasn't gonna be, all the board members weren't gonna be here. So I was leaving everything that I thought we wanted to discuss when all the board members were gonna be back. So I didn't have anything for 14. Because originally we were gonna try to make it where all the board members.
Right.
I didn't have anything for 14.
Okay, so we're gonna hope to vote though next month on the position title changes, position description changes, handbook if it's available. I think that's it. So I think that'll be a good discussion. And then 15. I thought that I included some future agenda items last month, but
Oh, sorry if I missed that.
that's okay. I have like a mini list, and
Okay,
these are all just at the point of discussion, like initial discussions.
okay.
So I do want to try a couple things at the town meeting that didn't work last time or 2 times ago. I do want to adjust the board salaries so that supervisors, instead of 4,000 a year are moved up to 5,000 a year. And I want to drop the chair salary from 8 to 6.
So that would have to happen at an elector meeting?
Yeah.
Okay.
At the April meeting,
Okay.
or that's gonna be the easiest one to do it at, but it wasn't.
So do at the annual meeting is what you're thinking?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I also still like the idea, let me backtrack. I want to do that. I want to find somebody in the community who will bring that as a motion so that it's not awkward for the existing supervisors. I know that was sort of the case last time. But I think it's justified because a chair does not do double the work that any of the supervisors do. And I think when we talked about it last time, it wasn't, I think it was Arlen who said, let's not make it entirely even across, because the chair's got maybe a little bit more to do, so like an extra 1,000. But I like that idea a lot of making it more even, because everybody's got responsibilities and everybody's got similar amounts of work to do. A chair has a little bit more to do. That's about it.
But you take the heat.
I know, but I don't think the difference between 8 and 6 is
Enough.
not
You could compensate no amount of money would,
I'm
yeah.
glad you do it.
it's not bad.
Well, and I think that's one thing. You don't want to discourage anyone else, but generally nobody does it because of the money.
No, I think it's like, yes, I agree. I also like the idea of numbers of seats for elections.
Oh, sure.
I think it gives residents more flexibility in who they're voting for. If there's some big discrepancy between candidates. It won't affect, that wouldn't go into effect until a year out from.
It'd be next April.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so it wouldn't have.
Yeah, I agree. I think it has some merit in
Mhm.
contested
Yeah.
election.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
But we talked, I think that came up once before.
Yes,
yeah.
I said the same thing, but yes.
But again,
Yeah,
maybe
and
that should
voters-
come
good
from
idea.
the community.
I think it should.
Remember,
I think it should too.
somebody could put that forward.
It would be best explained to somebody when you look at a ballot and you look at a list of like 4 people and you have to pick 2. That's when it starts to get confusing versus
They don't,
looking at a list of 1 name with 2 people, 1 name and 2 people.
Right.
That's when it like, then it makes it look like a choice. Sometimes when it's like a name and then there's 4 people only choose 1. They don't. And that's where I think it's like numbered seats come into better.
they
play.
think it says choose 2
Yes,
or no more than 2,
yeah.
but then sometimes don't people choose more than 2 as
Sometimes they
well?
just choose 1.
Yeah.
And actually lose their vote,
Yeah,
which is
or
like
they might
frustrating.
get it thrown out if they didn't read it carefully
It's-
And they
voted.
choose 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If there's data for tests at school, for multiple choices, there's a lot of data available that says, choose 2 or 3. And it's amazing how many people kind of ignore that
Yeah.
and
Or
just choose
just
one.
get confused by it
Yeah.
because, all the
It is-
other
it is.
questions were different. They just.
Would you have to, if you're applying for a position, would you have to specify which number seat you were applying for?
Yes,
Yes.
yeah.
So then it gets into, do you want to run against the incumbent or do you want to run against the other person who is not an incumbent? Let's say you have two seats, 2 incumbents and 2 challengers. Now you get into a situation where is it the luck of a draw, or if you put in for seat 1
Well, if you didn't know.
and then the incumbents are fighting for each other on seat 2, but the 2 newbies are fighting for their seats on seat 1. How does that determine?
Wait, well, if you were an incumbent, you would be on 2 different seats, right?
Oh, yeah, a good point.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So,
But you would choose the incumbent that you wanted to go against, but let's say both of the challengers decided to go against the incumbent in seat one.
Then
There's a
you have
maximum, there'd be a primary then
Yeah.
in the spring.
To
Yeah.
whittle it down to two.
two, yeah.
In the
Yeah.
case of the chair, you already have that in place, because somebody's gonna be running for chair.
Yeah, right.
Correct.
Yeah, there's no
They
second.
have that.
There's no second.
So
Yeah.
set it
I'm just
Yeah.
asking
I
the
think-
question.
No, that's a
If
good
you have to
question.
apply for a specific seat,
Yeah.
so, because that makes the application process
But
different.
sometimes that's good, like, for example, say you didn't want to run against this person, but you wanted to run against this person, then
Right,
it allows you to like make that choice.
There's definitely a little bit more strategy
Yeah.
for somebody who wants to be on the ballot, but I think there's also a lot more flexibility for the person who's voting for just an electoral.
Does that give someone who's not an incumbent more of a level playing field as well?
Yeah.
Because
I
of
think
the name recognition, to me, was always the issue. If I didn't know who the person was,
Mm.
I'd vote for whoever the name I recognize,
Mm-hmm.
but this way you'd have that split out a little bit more so that the new person, because we do want to encourage new blood.
Mhm. Right,
You know,
right.
yeah.
Anyway,
I think people just don't like change,
is a
so it's
future.
sometimes hard to like, that's the hardest part, the change is the hardest part.
And this
Did you start to say something?
agenda item. This is a future agenda item.
Yes.
Right?
correct.
Okay. All right.
Yep, so we'll talk more in the future.
Okay.
Couple other things, and this is probably more for the plan commission, although maybe I think we need, and this was recommended by Sharon, I think, because she noticed it was missing in some of our documents, is what we should do about AI data centers. Can you mention this earlier?
Yeah.
And also, I don't think we have anything in the plans or vision document about solar farms.
Mhm.
We may not have a lot of options of what to do, but I think that we should at least kick that around.
And I know solar farms were definitely on the plan commission's like agenda, like I know they were reviewing that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Current,
Like
current
they
time?
were I know Tim Janacek, that was under his umbrella, he was definitely in that,
Okay,
so.
let's put it on, let's keep it as a future item, just if nothing else to check in.
I
and see
think
more.
numbered salaries and that numbered items, I'm not gonna put that on the agenda because that looks a little weird. So that would
But-
just be something that we'd probably add on to the agenda for the annual meeting.
That's fine. And then, and this is like a mixed bag of things here. The parking restrictions, the 24 hours, no parking is, it sounds like a good idea, but it's not a great idea. And we had a lot of, it was really noticeable over the holidays in the subdivision in Raven Oaks. People had parties, and so and they don't have super long driveways. There's nowhere for cars to go except for in the street. So I don't know. And I think subdivisions are the only ones that have signs posted saying no parking ever. I don't know if, I don't have an answer for that. The thing about it is, okay, do we really mean no overnight parking? Like, what do we mean? I know there's some, one of the arguments for on the collect parking was vehicle access, like whether it's fire trucks or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if that's so is that really, does that mean one-sided parking
Mhm,
instead of
mhm.
both sides? I don't know, but it wouldn't be. I would be open to reviewing it because I'm not sure, it feels like overkill to me. It feels like a one size fits all ordinance. So that, anyway, that's why I'm bringing it up, and so sometime, whether that's road and traffic safety or probably is.
As an audience member, I agree with reconsideration of that ordinance that was adopted. I'm a big fan of not having unenforceable
Yeah.
laws, ordinances, statutes on the books.
Right.
Basically, people don't pay attention to it. We don't have a constable. Nobody's gonna call Dane County about it. And
Not necessarily unenforceable, but unenforced.
okay, I'll
Right.
agree
Yeah.
with
Right.
in the vernacular.
Yeah, I agree with you.
But I think, you live in a rural area and you don't have parking lots and, you know, some places may have longer driveways than others or not, but there's no place, I mean, I don't know. I mean, what I see is instead of, it says no parking on the shoulder. People used to just like pull off the side of the road and leave maybe one tire on.
Mhm.
Now what I see in the Windridge and Shield subdivisions, because there's no parking on the shoulder, they just park in the road. I mean, 100% of their car right on the road and just leave it there.
It's the same in
Okay.
ours, Dave, and I.
So is that better, worse? Is that, I mean, I think it's worse. I mean, I'd
Yeah.
rather see 2 tires off and maybe 2
Yeah.
tires on the shoulder or something so that it doesn't impede traffic.
Yeah.
I agree.
Well, let's do-
I think your first statement makes a lot of sense. It's why is it there when it's number one, non-enforced? If there's no meaning to it, we have the same thing in our neighborhood and there's in the 23 years we've been there, I've never seen one problem with, or never heard anybody talking about a problem. And they park on our road.
Yeah, well, let's figure this out,
Anyway,
where
that's something for the
where it should
future,
start, whether it's just we make a decision or whether road and traffic safety
Mhm.
chimes in also. Another road thing for me, and I mentioned this to Arlen, I think last meeting, but there is something, you know, we always say, oh, the right of way is 66 feet centered on the road. It doesn't have to be. There's an impractical width statute when for conditions that are not defined, but usually are based on traffic volume, conditions where the right of way can be as small as 49.5 feet. And again, it's probably more subdivision centric than anything else, because in Raven Oaks, there are homes that are not that far off the road. I would think the right of way would extend like very close to the front of their homes. So again, it's not.
I have that condition myself, right at the corner.
Yeah,
And I'm not the subdivision, but I have the 60 feet right at the corner on A.
yeah.
I've been there a long time.
And that's the thing, you know, again, I'm Raven Oaks, you know, that's where I live, but there are like huge mature trees and where the right of way would be if you extended it all the way across 66 feet. And other things, you know, and just the proximity of where homes are placed. So it doesn't seem, again, it's another one size fits all thing that I don't love. I think we should make the effort to figure out, okay, where would this apply? And, you know, is it justified to apply to this particular location? So that's it's not critical. I mean, some of these things are just not critical, but I think they're important to have like yeah, exactly. So, I wouldn't mind, I don't know if Arlen took it back.
It hasn't come up
It
yet.
hasn't come up. So if it's just a reminder on our agendas, I wouldn't mind that either. And then the last one, and this is definitely something I don't have a definition for. So I'm just going to say it and then not really try to figure out what I mean. I wouldn't mind even like a proclamation that says, we welcome all people, whether you live here or work here or visit here, you're welcome here. And the flip side is, and I think Chicago did this, they ordinance or what it was, but they said on city property, or so, okay, let's move it to town property. ICE is not welcome inside, or is barred from being, I don't know what the language is, but essentially was, if you're ICE, don't come in here during a meeting and do anything. You're not welcome in here. I don't know how either of those two things apply, but I'd like to at least have a discussion with the board and anybody else, you know, and residents, and see what the vibe is on that. And I was thinking to myself, oh, is that political? And I don't think it is.
You're in politics.
No, I know, well, I know, but supposedly non-political,
Right.
which is true. I mean, ideology, yeah, we all have our own ideology.
Is it legal would be more of it sounds like a great idea to make the statement that makes it clear what our purpose is, but.
The proclamation, I think, if
Yeah.
that's what it turns out to be, then yes, I think that's always legal. I think you can do just about anything. The I don't know about the act of restricting the town property to not allow federal agents I don't know. I don't know if you have to be a city. I don't know if it'd be like a, major city of the world to do it. I don't know. But I think
It's worth a discussion.
it's also not Carlville, you know what I mean? So it's not like, I can just say, there is a Carlsville. I will take a picture of it. But,
Good discussion to have.
yeah. So, and that's the last one on my list.
I've been approached by one group, some people that that asked if I'd bring that up at this meeting. I looked at the agenda the other day, and Jennifer said, no, there's nothing to add it, so I.
Oh,
Jennifer has days.
Yes.
But I have an agenda, but it'd be more for the road and traffic safety. Can I attend their meeting?
Yes. They have more people that attend their meeting than anyone in the world.
Please do.
Yeah,
Please do.
9 a.m.
Great.
Next meeting is when?
Full meeting.
February 11th, I got it on here. Okay,
Tuesday, Thursday, but it's.
I talked to Arlen about it a while back, I just got.
No, I
it
think that would be
and
wonderful.
it should be brought to everybody.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, they have,
You could come to the planning commission too.
settle down.
and
He's been to the park.
I have, we're working together a bit.
Yes.
What can I do with all the work they do?
Oh, they'll find something for you.
Yeah.
Well, those, weren't you were looking at those schoolhouses and things,
Mhm.
those historic sites
Yep,
Yeah.
and the cemeteries.
in the cemeteries, yeah.
can we hold on this? Could we have like one and a half
Yeah,
more
let's do
items
that.
down? And then we can do whatever.
Oh.
Any questions about future meeting dates?
I think I got them, I think I took off, park is not meeting in January and February, is that correct, Dave?
That is correct.
Okay, so I took those off, added February 11th road and traffic. We are, isn't that great? We're gonna have a February
No,
election.
yeah.
Yeah.
Is it- Is it just one,
I think it was just
one race on the
I
ballot?
think it's just one. It's on the ballot.
You could encourage people to really get mail ballot. That's probably too late for that
Yeah.
one.
So we'll have that. And then you guys know, Lori and Arlen will be on the ballot for April for the town.
Uncontested,
Yep.
right?
It's too late now, right?
You want to back out now? Is that what you're saying? Lori's out, okay.
People to run, that would always be good.
No, it's over. Yeah, it's too late.
And I think, the only thing I see, I should have moved the plan commission meeting back a week. So instead of Tuesday, February 17th, because now that we're having that spring primary, we'll have to move that one back a week to the
Just a week.
24th. Yeah. So I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, you've noted that.
Yeah.
That's good.
So just so we all, I want to let everyone know about the calendar that I send you.
Mm.
I send everyone a calendar and I send everyone a calendar announcement for all the meetings, like the park meetings, the
Right.
plan
Oh.
commission meetings. I send that
Good
all to you
reminder.
guys.
Thank you.
Yes, just so you know when the meetings are, if you want to attend
That's
them,
a
if you
nice
don't want to
reminder.
attend. Yeah. But that, it's just an FYI, right? It's not like,
Yeah.
oh, hey, you have to attend all these. It's just like me being your secretary, basically, as like, but that's just it. That's all it is. It's not,
Okay.
you have to attend that. I always want to let you guys know, because sometimes I think it's like, do I have to attend this, Jennifer? No.
Yeah.
And then you guys all got this. I just got this in the mail and I left this at your station. It's the Dane County Towns Association, and that is going to be at the Rutland Town
Yep.
Hall. And
Did
then,
not make that one.
okay,
I will make it.
okay, I probably will put that out there, just that
Yeah.
there might be a quorum of
Oh,
board members,
good
just
idea.
because it's close, so I. will
Yeah,
probably just
I
do
think
that.
that-
I already.
Plus you get to see the new town hall if you
Yeah.
haven't already. And
Yeah.
feel, and just be so envious.
It's pretty
But
nice.
that might be some, Renee or someone there might be someone to ask that question that you were asking at the end. And then there is the Wisconsin Towns Association meeting. There is one that's in person at Barneveld that I signed Lori up. Tim is also signed up for that one. Then there are some online sessions. I sent it in an email. I can send
Mhm.
another one too if you, Carl,
Yeah.
or Arlen are
Remind me of
interested.
that date again. No,
I will send it to you again.
attended it 2 years ago.
Yes, I think it's February.
I can't remember.
I will have to send it to
It's,
you again.
It's
Yeah, send it
early in
again.
February, it's pretty early. in
Yeah, 9th
February.
or something like
yeah, I
that.
should, Look at
And
that.
if you go, wear thermal underwear and heavy boots.
And get there early because the time I got there, one chair left.
Yeah.
They're on round tables or.
Donuts over,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Um,
I think if you do it, you can do it one day. Otherwise, I think if you do it online, it might be 2 days. Okay, so that's that. And then Carl, possibly Lori, if Lori's available, and Stephanie and I will be doing that agenda and meeting management software. We're gonna be doing that on Thursday, January 22nd.
This is item 16.
Yeah, at noon. I talked to Sue LeBrun about the logo. Her daughter is a graphic designer, so she might take a little bit of stab at the,
Okay,
well,
she-
she made no promises because it's
Yeah.
so I don't know, I haven't sent it to her yet, so they made no promises but we were just chatting,
okay,
so we'll see, but you know, we're gonna move ahead with what we talked about.
yeah,
So
I
we'll
know.
move ahead with that for this implementation of starting it, but
Yeah.
we'll maybe get a chance to see if there's something else out there.
that's good.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be easy. Well, if she's a good designer.
Yeah.
It does not have to look like the existing one. It doesn't have to be, oh, that's a much better oak leaf. That barn looks really good. But no, that's great.
Yeah.
Well,
So we'll
can I mention something? I think what we should do though is, once we shift over to a different logo, we should do something and have the old one like posted on the wall, like something like the Hall of Fame of old sound logos. Yeah, I don't know what, but you know what I mean? Not to just like trash it.
Once all 4 walls get to be the maybe we could.
Yeah. Well, enough with that. There's always that. Okay, anything else before we wrap it up? Tim, anything?
Nothing from me.
Okay, thanks. Anybody else? No, okay, without objection, then we are adjourned. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Tim. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Get up with
Will
all.
be you, Jennifer, to talk to about
Jennifer.
the,
Oh.
business cemetery.